The ballroom sparkled beneath golden chandeliers. Expensive dresses shimmered. Crystal glasses clinked. The city's wealthiest people gathered for the annual charity gala at the luxurious Grand Royal Hotel. Among them was Ethan Blackwell, a millionaire businessman famous for his wealth, confidence, and arrogance. Everyone admired him. Everyone feared him. And tonight, Ethan was in an especially playful mood. Near the corner of the ballroom stood a young maid named Sophia. She wore a simple gray uniform while carrying a tray of drinks. Unlike the glamorous guests around her, Sophia remained unnoticed. She quietly moved from table to table, serving everyone with a polite smile. But Ethan noticed her, and unfortunately, not for a good reason. As Sophia passed by his table, Ethan smirked. "Hey, everyone," he announced loudly. "Look at this." The nearby guests turned toward him. Sophia stopped. "Yes, sir," she asked respectfully. Ethan stood up dramatically. "Tell me, Sophia, have you ever danced a tango?" Laughter erupted around the table. Sophia felt heat rush into her cheeks. "No, sir. Never." Ethan asked. "No. That's tragic." More laughter followed. Ethan looked around the ballroom. "Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I have discovered someone who has never danced tango." The crowd chuckled. Sophia lowered her eyes. She wanted to leave, but Ethan wasn't finished. "Come on," he said. "Dance with me." The room became silent. Sophia froze. "Sir, I can't." "Why not?" "I'm working." "Oh, don't worry. I'm sure the hotel can survive without one maid for 3 minutes." Several guests laughed again. Sophia felt humiliated, yet she stayed calm. "Please excuse me, sir." She turned to leave. Then Ethan spoke again. "What are you afraid of?" The words stopped her. She slowly looked back. Ethan smiled smugly. "Afraid you'll embarrass yourself." A few people exchanged uncomfortable glances. The joke had gone too far. Still, nobody intervened. Nobody wanted to challenge Ethan Blackwell. Sophia remained silent for several seconds. Then something unexpected happened. She smiled. A small, calm smile. "If you truly want to dance, sir," she said softly, "I will dance." The crowd gasped. Ethan grinned. "Excellent." Music filled the ballroom. Guests gathered around the dance floor. Many expected a disaster. Some anticipated a comedy show. Others simply wanted entertainment. Ethan confidently extended his hand. Sophia accepted. The tango began. At first Ethan led with exaggerated movements. The audience laughed. He clearly intended to make Sophia look foolish. But then, something changed. Sophia moved. Perfectly. Gracefully. Effortlessly. The laughter vanished. Ethan blinked. Sophia's posture transformed completely. Her steps matched every beat. Every turn was precise. Every movement elegant. The ballroom fell silent. People stared. No one expected this. Not even Ethan. He tried increasing the complexity of the dance. Sophia matched him. He spun faster. She followed flawlessly. He attempted advanced footwork. She executed it beautifully. Whispers spread through the crowd. "She's incredible. Where did she learn that? Is she a professional dancer?" Ethan's confidence began to crack. For the first time all evening, he wasn't controlling the situation. Sophia was. The music intensified, and suddenly she performed a breathtaking sequence that left spectators stunned. Several guests actually applauded. Ethan's face tightened. This wasn't supposed to happen. The maid wasn't supposed to outshine him. The song ended. Thunderous applause exploded across the ballroom. People stood. Some cheered. Others whistled. Sophia politely bowed. Ethan forced a smile. But inside, he was furious. "Very impressive," he said. "Thank you, sir." The crowd slowly returned to their tables. Yet, whispers continued. Everyone talked about the maid who danced better than half the guests. Ethan returned to his seat feeling strangely irritated. He wasn't accustomed to being overshadowed. Especially not by a maid. Several minutes later, curiosity got the better of him. He approached Sophia near the service station. "Where did you learn to dance like that?" Sophia hesitated. "It's a long story. I have time." For the first time that evening, Ethan sounded sincere. Sophia looked at him carefully. Then she answered, "My father was a professional tango instructor." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "Really?" She nodded. "He owned a small dance academy." "What happened?" A shadow crossed her face. "The academy burned down." Ethan's expression softened slightly. "My father lost everything. And then, he spent years trying to rebuild. She paused. But he became ill. Ethan listened quietly. He passed away when I was 19. I'm sorry. Sophia smiled sadly. After that, I had to work. To support your family. Yes. Ethan looked down. Suddenly the glamorous ballroom felt less impressive. Less important. Sophia continued. My father always said something. What? She smiled. People may take your money. They may take your position. But nobody can take what you've learned. The words hit Ethan unexpectedly hard. Because deep inside, he knew something nobody else knew. His success wasn't entirely his own. Years ago, his father had built the company. Ethan inherited most of it. He rarely admitted that. People saw him as self-made. He allowed them to believe it. For the first time, he felt ashamed. Meanwhile, Sophia returned to work. The conversation ended, but Ethan couldn't stop thinking about it. That night he drove home in silence. The city lights blurred outside his car. He replayed the evening repeatedly. His jokes, the laughter, Sophia's humiliation, and then her dignity. She never attacked him, never insulted him, never sought revenge. She simply revealed her talent. And somehow that made him feel worse. The next morning Ethan arrived at his office unusually early. He couldn't focus. Numbers on spreadsheets seemed meaningless. Meetings felt empty. At lunchtime he made an unexpected decision. He visited the hotel. The manager greeted him immediately. Mr. Blackwell, what an honor. I'm looking for Sophia. The manager appeared surprised. Is there a problem? No. The manager led him to the staff cafeteria. Sophia looked shocked when Ethan entered. Sir. Ethan took a deep breath. Something he rarely did. He apologized. I owe you an apology. The room became silent. Several employees stared. Nobody expected those words from Ethan Blackwell. Sophia looked confused. You don't need to. Yes, I do. He interrupted gently. I embarrassed you. She remained quiet. I thought I was being funny. Another pause. I wasn't. The staff exchanged astonished glances. Ethan continued. You handled the situation with more grace than I deserved. For a moment Sophia said nothing. Then she smiled. It's okay. No, Ethan replied. But thank you. That should have been the end. Yet fate had other plans. A week later Ethan learned something shocking. The hotel planned major staff reductions. Budget cuts. Several employees would lose their jobs. Including Sophia. When Ethan heard the news, he felt immediate concern. He didn't fully understand why. Perhaps because he finally respected her. Perhaps because she reminded him of values he'd forgotten. Either way, he decided to help. He arranged a meeting with hotel executives. After lengthy negotiations, he proposed a partnership between his company and the hotel. The agreement generated enough revenue to prevent layoffs. Dozens of workers kept their jobs, including Sophia. When she learned what happened, she approached Ethan. Did you do this? Ethan smiled. Partly. Why? He considered the question, then answered honestly. Because someone reminded me what real value looks like. Months passed. An unusual friendship developed. Ethan often visited community events supported by the hotel. Sophia volunteered at many of them. He discovered she taught free dance classes to underprivileged children every weekend. Using borrowed community halls. Using old speakers. Using her own time. Why do you do it? Ethan asked one afternoon. Sophia looked at the children dancing. Because someone once did it for me. The answer stayed with him. Eventually Ethan attended one of her classes. Then another. And another. The children adored Sophia. Parents respected her. The community loved her. Not because she was wealthy. Not because she was famous. But because she genuinely cared. One evening Ethan visited the tiny dance hall. Rain tapped against the windows. The children had already gone home. Only Sophia remained. She carefully packed equipment. Ethan looked around. The building was old. The floor was damaged. The mirrors were cracked. Yet laughter still echoed in the room. An idea formed in his mind. 3 months later Sophia received an invitation. It simply read, "Please join us Saturday evening." When she arrived, she couldn't believe her eyes. Before her stood a completely renovated dance academy. Beautiful floors, professional mirrors, modern lighting, new sound systems. Above the entrance hung a sign, Rivera Dance Academy. Her father's name. Tears filled her eyes. She turned toward Ethan. You did this. He nodded. Sophia couldn't speak. For several moments neither said anything. Finally Ethan smiled. Your father taught people to dance. She wiped away tears. Yes, you taught people kindness. More tears followed. The grand opening attracted hundreds of visitors. Former students, local families, business leaders, community members. Everyone gathered to celebrate. During the ceremony, Ethan stepped onto the stage. Years ago he would have spoken about success, money, status, achievements. Instead he spoke about respect, humility, character. Then he looked toward Sophia. The most valuable lesson I learned this year, he said, came from someone wearing a maid's uniform. The audience applauded. Sophia smiled through tears. And later that evening, music filled the academy. Guests gathered around the dance floor. Ethan approached Sophia. He extended his hand. This time there was no mockery. No arrogance. No audience seeking entertainment. Only genuine respect. May I have this dance? Sophia smiled. I'd be honored. They danced. And unlike that first night in the ballroom, nobody laughed. Because everyone understood something important. True greatness isn't measured by wealth. It isn't measured by titles. It isn't measured by power. True greatness is measured by how you treat people when you have every opportunity to treat them poorly. The millionaire learned that lesson. The maid never forgot it. And together they showed an entire city that kindness will always outshine arrogance. No matter how bright the chandeliers may be,